Lawrence, do you understand the concept between opposites?
Thank you. Yeah.
So if you have truth and falsehood, do you understand what they mean?
Yeah.
Something and nothing. It's not difficult to grasp. There was absolutely nothing. Can this generate something?
I mean, if a thing that did not exist existed, could something be there? I suppose if a thing that could not exist existed, then anything is possible after that.
Sorry? What I'm saying is, if something exists now,
Yeah.
it has to be always there, or it wasn't always there.
Yes.
And according to that theory, what is it? It was space-time, what we are, energy, always there?
I'm saying
or
that
there wasn't always
there
there?
is no before. But
I didn't ask what before. I'm talking about being always there or not.
Right. So the idea that there has to be a time before a particular time is a baked-in assumption for a creature for which they've always seen that to be true. But it is the same idea as thinking that there must always be a more southwards. For a creature that's never seen the globe, they've always seen south. They might believe it goes on forever.
Again, you're conflating. For me to understand about about southness, about south. Let's understand. Let's understand this analogy. This is what I don't understand it. Maybe I'm not thinking it through. But I want you to explain to me one thing, Lawrence. If there was absolute nothingness to begin with,
nothingness.
No. Let's understand what nothingness is. It's absence of everything.
But that's not exactly what I'm positing there was.
Now I'm saying if there was such a thing, there was absolutely nothing. Can this generate something?
I mean, if a thing that did not exist existed, could something be there? I suppose if a thing that could not exist existed, then anything is possible after that.
Sorry? If nothing existed at one point, when I say point, I'm not talking about time.
Okay.
Yeah? So this is a concept in which nothingness is the absence of everything.
Yeah.
Absence of time and space, quantum fields, you name it. Absence of all of that. In such a state of reality, can you get something like space and time out of it?
There's no science or physics that tries to understand the things that do not exist. Science doesn't have answers to it. It doesn't have answers.
What do you think?
Questions.
Is it possible to get something out of nothing?
I think there is no logic that I know that could ever allow me to answer in either direction, because I don't even have an understanding of what it would mean for something to come of nothing.
I just told you, nothing is the absence of everything. So if you want to get, say, some gluons and haptons and hadrons and leptons, whatever, right? Now these are quantum particles. They have existence. You're talking about getting existence from non-existence. Is it even conceptually possible?
But I'm not positing that that's what happens.
I am saying, is it possible to get existence from non-existence?
I'm saying that I haven't got that answer.
You do.
I don't.
Lawrence,
I really don't.
Lawrence,
I really don't have an answer to that
Lawrence,
question.
non-existence is no existence whatsoever.
Yeah,
So
but
I've
never experienced non-existence, nor do I know if it actually even is a thing.
I'm just telling you, non-existence is the absence of energy and everything that you know of. How can it make energy when itself doesn't possess energy?
You say, how can it make it? But I don't believe or even know it to be the case that that's how it happens.
I'm postulating a possible scenario.
If you postulate
Let's say there was non-existence. Okay, this is my model. There was non-existence. Now, I want to explain, can existence be accounted for from this non-existence? Now, what do I need to know? This non-existence have to have some qualities and properties and attributes to make existence. But non-existence, by definition, has none of that. Is it possible to get existence out of non-existence? In my model.
Your model?
Yeah.
Well, you tell me it's your model. Do you understand the question? I understand that you have this idea of nothingness.
It's not an idea, it's a concept. And it's a concept that we do understand because we can understand something. No, okay. Do you not understand contrast between opposites?
I understand the word nothing.
Opposite?
I'm not sure that I have
Do you,
a physical model universe
Lawrence, do you understand the concept between opposites?
Thank you. Yeah.
So if you have truth and falsehood, do you understand what they mean?
Yeah.
Something and nothing.
Yeah.
It's not difficult to grasp. It's actually quite rational.
Yeah. So I know,
And science
I'll
is
say
foundationally built on
I'll say
rationality.
I know what you mean by nothingness.
Good.
I am now imagining a universe in which there is nothing. And I think this is a universe in which there is something. And you're asking me, do I know how you would get from one to the other?
Now, is it possible?
Or is it possible? Is it possible? How would I know? I've never experienced those things.
So,
Or if
so,
I've been
so
worth them. I've
from
experienced
from
something.
what you
I've
understand
never
by
I've never
something,
experienced the universe of
So what
nothingness, nor have I crossed it.
so what you understand by the laws that operate within this universe,
My laws only apply to the one universe, the one where there is something.
yeah. So in this something, the one, look, we can only think about what we know.
Which is something.
We
I have
cannot
never
think
known
about-
nothing.
Nothing is the opposite to that,
In
conceptually.
every universe I have woken up in, there's always been something.
No, no. We're saying something is something, and there's opposite to that. We understand the opposites.
Oh, I understand, but I don't know that there has ever been nothing.
I'm saying, is it possible ever to be nothing?
Are you saying, do I have a physical theory of reality?
I'm not asking for a
in which-
physical
in
theory.
which there was once
I
nothing?
didn't ask you for a physical empirical observation.
What does it mean to be possible?
Possible?
What is the meaning of possibility then?
Okay. So what I'm saying is, you have nothing, non-existence, and existence. Is it possible to get existence out of non-existence? Now, how you get it, whether you use your empirical theories.
I can see no contradiction. I think that, at least as scientists, those things that don't impact our reality and can't be observed or measured and have no effect on me, the difference between them existing and not existing is moot. That because they're not measurable, because they don't, by definition, affect our reality.
Can it make something? Can non-existence make something?
Can it make something?
Yes.
I think by definition, nothing doesn't make anything. It's nothing.
So you cannot make anything.
What does it mean for nothing to make things?
For example, when you have matter transforming, can non-existence transform non-existence into existence?
But you see, the thing is that these things like matter, they're all.
You know when we're talking about-
like all things existing.
Lawrence,
And you're asking to imagine a
okay,
world
let
in
me
which
let
don't
me
exist.
let me help you in your physical understanding of things. Quantum particles and virtual particles, right? Virtual particles. What are virtual particles?
I have no idea what virtual
Okay.
particles are.
So virtual particles are, they just pop in and out of existence in a virtual reality. Okay. But that's what science are telling us, that they were non-existence, but they just pop into existence. Okay. What we were just saying is that's not the case. But anyway, suddenly particles pops up and we can measure them.
Okay.
Before that,
Okay,
they were not
in which
measurable.
case, that I'm saying is not nothing from. That's not something from nothing. That's something from not a particle.
Something from something.
Right.
Something from something.
Something from something.
Something from something. The thing.
Something from something.
I think the thing that you are referring to is the fact that is. I think it's. Are you trying to do quantum field theory? And
Any theories you get.
Okay.
Can you get something from nothing? The answer is obviously no.
I think maybe what you're trying to refer to in physics is a
I'm not
phenomenon
limiting my
where-
knowledge to physics only. So now let's use all our avenues of knowledge
Okay.
and answer this question.
Are you saying then that your belief in a creator is not an empirical view, it's a rational one?
How can you put empirical parameters to understand the creator?
I can describe to you a world in which I could have empirical
No, no,
evidence
okay, let's-
of God.
let's understand-
Say he appeared before us now. That would be empirical evidence.
How
of
did
God.
it was God?
That's a good question. Maybe he has the capacity to make you know that he's God, right?
Mass delusion.
Mass delusion.
How can you? Now,
But it
how?
was- it
Imagine
was-
somebody says, "I am God" from the sky. How do you know that was God? It could be just mass hysteria, mass delusion.
I don't think science is trying to offer you guarantees. It's trying to offer you the best.
I don't think it's a
evidence we
scientific
have.
question.
If
Science
every
doesn't-
day God walked down to me, it might be delusion or he might be real.
No, no. The
But I
question is
wouldn't be
about
having this
the
conversation
questions
with
about God existence doesn't fall into the remit of science.
Exactly.
It cannot.
You're using the wrong tool.
It cannot. We have to use the appropriate tool for the appropriate question.
Right. So I would agree with you that whether or not outside of all this there is a God is not a question that science can answer.
Sorry.
But that wasn't the only thing you tried to claim today. Today you tried to claim that we could not possibly have evolved.
No. I didn't claim that. You're straw manning me. I mean,
Okay,
absolutely not.
Can you
Absolutely not.
reiterate then your position?
My position
on how
is
we came
about
to be?
rationality needs to be incorporated in finding the truth.
Right, but specifically,
Right.
what is your
No,
stance on
specifically
how we came
is
to be?
about our existence here could not have come from non-existence. That is my number one claim. Then I'll tell you what number two claim is once we understand whether my claim is true or not. So you can really argue, put counter arguments on my claim and say no, existence can come from non-existence. But I'm postulating existence cannot come from non-existence.
See, the problem here is now
The fact that we are existent, there has to be always existence, always. And my definition of always transcends all models of your time. It's always there. Whether you stop there at 13.6 billion years or not, or you have a singularity in which you can't talk about time, you can't go beyond and say before, always encompasses and transcends all of that, always there.
And the problem is that we began this conversation talking about whether or not random processes could have led to me from a pool of sludge. And in order to answer that question, I don't think I need to tell you whether or not your model of something springing from nothing is true or not.
That's very important.
You've moved those goalposts quite away from the
I haven't
beginning.
moved. I was just laying the foundations of rationality.
you've told me what you
Let me tell you, of rationality, in which we assign, when we look at the world, conscious agents playing a part in transformation of things. You're saying transformation can happen without conscious entity willing and choosing to happen.
Yes, I am.
But I'm saying we don't observe any of that.
I think we do right now.
Now, give me an example.
As I said earlier,
Give me an example.
if I chop that, if the wind blows that tree down, there will be fewer trees like it afterwards because it will be dead. That is something that is observable. The wind is not a conscious entity, and it very much does change what future beings there will be.
You're simply saying transformation in terms of what? Like, for example, I'm not transforming you. I'm just putting an end to you because I'm just interfering with you. When I say transformation, I'm talking about transformation that is already encoded within our self. Whether it's in a tree or in a rat or a human being, there are information, complex information, which tells us how we are going to be, our next generation is going to be. This information is a program. That program, this is what I am arguing against. Programs cannot exist and subsist like that without a conscious programmer. So that's why I'm going back.
Good. That we can talk about.
Yeah.
That doesn't require
That's why let's go back. Lawrence, let's go back then. So now we are something. Can this something be a result of absolute nothingness?
We were talking about programs earlier.
No. I'm not going to.
Would it satisfy me?
Lawrence.
Let me finish this sentence, then you can go back to talking.
Fine.
Would it satisfy you for me to describe a program being where once it was not, without a creator?
No.
Is that enough?
No. I'm moving to now the more fundamental and core question, which is this universe.
I'd rather not move.
Do you know why you're not going to go into there? Because that is more important. Lawrence, why are you uncomfortable to discuss a fundamental question?
I think the problem is if we try to make our conversation more broad.
Not broader.
We will
This is the fundamental. No, this is the fundamental question.
I would much rather just stick to the conversation.
Look, okay. Let me just take people in. Okay. Is it possible existence come from non-existence?
No.
Is it possible?
Impossible.
Is it possible for existence to come from non-existence?
Yes. I know you would say yes.
Okay, one. Okay. Any others? Can existence come from non-existence?
By non-existent.
Something that doesn't exist.
I will embrace that.
What do you mean by non-existent?
I just told you, absence of everything.
You just defined it in terms of...
No, I've just told you opposite. Opposite. When we know truth, the opposite we know is falsehood. Can existence come from non-existence? Look, how many people answered the question? And you are finding it discomforting to answer. Do you know why?
I'm finding your method of discourse discomforting, not because I feel
Lawrence?
like I'm being cowed. I feel like because you're being just increasingly vague.
I'm not being vague. I've explained my terms, and you've understood those terms.
I think we...
Which part of my terminologies did you not understand?
When you first talked to me, we talked about...
No, you're going back first. We've moved on because I was only laying the foundation of rationality. That's all I was doing. I was only laying the foundation of rationality to come to this question. And now we've arrived at this question, I would like to see some kind of engagement, a rational engagement.
I'm engaging, don't worry. We've been talking
Good.
for a while now.
Good. Go ahead. Explain.
So-
Is it possible?
You would like me to answer your question?
No, your way. My question, your way.
Yeah, it has to be your question though, because we did have a conversation. We were
Why are you
we
having difficulty and discomforting?
But rather than moving the conversation on to a whole new conversation...
No, it's not a whole new conversation. Okay, fine. You know what, Lawrence? Let's end this discussion here because you're finding it discomforting. If there's anyone else who wants to continue, we can.